Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're going live. Good afternoon. Today is August 10th, Wednesday afternoon. We have a great guest, a person that I think many people would like to find out about credit. It is a big issue for everything we do. You know, buy a house, a car, apply to rent, apply to get car,
Everything, yes,
right?
yeah.
So I have the pleasure to be able to have Rolando Castro, who's a specialist in credit repair business. He's been at it for a while. He's a good man. He also speaks Spanish. We're gonna do it in English, but if any has any questions in Spanish, I know I have a couple people that earlier called me that they have some questions on it. So we'll be doing that. So I want to thank you for your time in advance, Rolando. For being available and
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
for your knowledge. For what you got.
Yes, yes, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
welcome, first of all,
I'm
man.
ready to add value.
Yeah. So how is it? We'll start with that. With your business, you work for Elite Credit Repair, and you do many things on it. We'll get into it, but let me ask you, how's it going right now in the credit repair business world with all these crazy things about to happen?
You know what? We are blessed. We are super busy. We're helping a lot of people. When the economy tends to go bad, there's a lot of people that want to get ready because whenever there's let's just say a recession or the economy is doing bad, a lot of people look for opportunities. A lot of people that might be have a lot of cash in their mattress and want to take advantage of when everybody else is fearful. They are repairing their credit because the economy will bounce back and they want to make sure that they're a step ahead of the game and their credit's not an issue. Because I always say it's better to have it and not need it than to actually come across an opportunity and your credit's not where it needs to be and that opportunity just slips out of your hand. So I'm seeing a lot of people taking advantage of improving their credit just because they want to take advantage of what's to come.
Okay, and I'm sure you got so much experience in this to help people out. So that's awesome. So let's start with this. I know we'll dig into some great tips that people want to know. People that
Sure.
cases you have. So how did you end up in the credit cleaning business here?
Yeah, you know what? It's 14 years ago. It's not something I don't wake up one day and say, I want to be a credit repair specialist. It
Right.
wasn't like that. I never in a million years, fast forward, thought I will be doing this, right? I love it. I love helping people. But it all started with um, I knew someone who did credit repair. And at the time, if I would come across friends, I worked with my dad in construction. And that's when the whole economy, 08, 09, the whole economy crashed. I found myself with no work. And I remember I was sad. I was depressed. I lost my house and I didn't have a dollar to my name. I had a newborn baby. And
Wow.
I went from living in a pool house to living in my mother-in-law's house at the time. And then I went camping with my brother, and we're sitting around the campfire in the night, and he says, "Oh," he mentioned a friend of ours' name. He said, he just opened a business, and it clicked. And I said, "What? Like this guy's not smarter than me. He's not a genius. He has a job, and he opened a side hustle, and I'm sitting here with not even a dollar to my name, not a job, and." So I started thinking, okay, you know what? I have to do something. I got to get my butt up and do something. I'm not feeling sorry for myself or crying is not going to get me anywhere.
That's right.
And I remember the weekend after I went to a house party and someone that I had mentioned about what this person that I would refer clients to, what their price were, this person said, "Hey, talk to your friend. I'm ready to get my credit started today. I think I have the money. I think it must have been like $600."
Yeah.
And I said, I do credit repair now. I can help you. I had no idea what credit repair was. So
Yeah.
she said, "Great, here's the money and here's the stuff that I need to get started." And I remember I put the money in my pocket and I said, "Oh wow, that just my tank went from empty to full, right?" So
Nice.
I remember I went to Barnes and Nobles and I bought a credit repair book. And I made sure that I got the book and I read it to where it was like I did not wrinkle a single page. I took notes, I made copies because I needed those $19 back. So I returned the book back and that's how I learned to do credit repair. And the good thing is that this person still works at Kaiser. Those Kaiser people, if you're a realtor lender or you need to really build a solid pipeline is go after the people that work at Kaiser, because number one, they make good money and they're very loyal. She referred so many people to me within a month that's how I started my business. Literally within 30 days, I subleased an office, and 14 years later, here I am as a credit expert. And it all started because I was flat broke. I didn't have a job, and I seen an opportunity, and I took it without even knowing how the end result was going to be.
I think that's a great start of your career for that because you just took the gut. You say if that guy can do it, I mean, I have knowledge on. I know I can do it. You took the thing
Yes.
and you learn it, man. And well, you have no other way to go. I mean, you have to do something, and you have
Right.
to
Right.
write the kid. And boy, it's amazing how when you are really motivated to get going and get some money back, what you would do. And look at you, man. You just took the client. You knew you were going to help him somehow. You were going to commit it to it. You got the book.
Yeah.
So that
Was
so
yeah. It's wonderful. It was scary though, because I started seeing all these leads, and I don't know how to manage them. But um, it all worked out at the end. Thank God.
and, and the good thing is, look, you got like a nice good start with a group of people at Kaiser, where they got a big network of bunch of workers there, and
Huge.
you get a good
Yes.
job for one person, and word spread out, and that's how
Yeah.
business is. There's your best advertisers that
Of
have
course.
clients. So so how have you? What did you do before this? Before this kind of job, what were you doing? This was
I
14
did.
years ago. You credit, but before that,
Yeah.
what
Before credit, I was searching. I at one point I had 4 jobs.
okay.
I was just searching for something that had meaning. I had many jobs. I'm a mechanic. I went to school for massage therapy. I didn't like it.
Okay.
Um, I worked at as security. I worked at Papa John's. I used to work at the food market, giving away samples I could do at Costco now. And I
Yeah.
was always searching. I've been fired from almost every job that I've had. I know that I make the worst employee ever because I, I,
It
I
was
like to, yeah, I work too hard, and I'm very aggressive in the sense of, um, if I have a team, I expect more from them. And of course, if I have if I work for ABC Company, I'm going to give ABC Company 110%. And I expect that from my colleagues, but I can't make them work 110%. So it was always a conflict. I didn't get along with people, and I would always be fired for one reason or the other. And, when nobody was hiring, I hired myself.
that's right.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
no choice but to just find a way, man. How do you?
Yeah. I
So
was just
you're,
always searching for what was the best fit for me.
and that's good because I think you found your calling, and this
I
will
think I did.
develop
Yes,
you,
yes,
right?
yes. I love
Develop
what
you.
I do. I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you, what did you feel like? I know that you tried a bunch of stuff, different jobs, and that's what we gotta do. We gotta try until we feel something that hey, I feel good at doing this. I think I can do a lot, and it's way better when you get well compensated as you do it. So what did
Yes.
it feel to you when you first got? You feel like entrepreneurship, your first self-employed job, which is this. I mean, how did that feel, man? When that lady or that person trusted you, and you have to come up with a good result for her, but now you're like stepping into the real life of self-employed. How did that feel? Those moments for you when you
Well,
first?
I knew since I was little, I knew that I always wanted to have my own business. My father would instill in us, son, when you grow up, don't work for anyone. Be the boss. Build your own business. Be an entrepreneur. The opportunities. Like he always pushed me into becoming an entrepreneur and having my own business. And in reality, I didn't know what it was going to be. I had a lot of jobs, but I didn't like any of them, and I knew that wasn't. I'm I was fired quick. Again at the Papa John security everywhere. I didn't like it. If I didn't like something, I'm not gonna stick with it just to see what happens. If I don't like it, I'm gone.
Hey,
So when I went into my credit repair business, I started reading business books and listening to people like Les Brown, Tony Robbins, and it was a whole different type of world than working for a company, because now it's if I'm going to make it, it's up to me, and if I'm going to hire people, then I need to make sure that I have the skills, the leadership skills, the business skills, and I became a sponge to information and more importantly execution. And I wasn't afraid to make mistakes because I knew that you know what, I need to make those mistakes when I'm small
Right.
because I can't afford to make them once I get bigger. So I did a lot of trial and error. I invested a lot of money into coaches and seminars, and I was just consuming a lot of information. And okay, if I consume this much information, what am I going to focus on? I'm going to focus on understanding marketing, understanding processes, and then I would take off on that. And then once I feel like I mastered that, I would go into HR and different aspects of the business because in the business world, there's just so many opportunities versus going to work. And no matter how hard you work, if you're getting paid $15 an hour, no matter how hard you work, you're not going to make more than $15 an hour for that hour, even if you work your butt off. So I knew that if I work harder, I could make more money, and then I can figure out how do I multiply myself to have more freedom.
Yeah. And I like what you said, Orlando, that you're not scared of making errors, and you make them as quickly as you can. And in the beginning, you tried out a lot of stuff, and well, that's one way to make sure one way you don't do things. You just keep getting better and better by doing them. And
Correct.
some people, they make errors in here and there, and they go, "Well, I just give up. I go back to a 9 to 5 job or whatever job it's you work for somebody else." But you kept going, man. You just made errors, and it's okay. That's what we all have to do to grow.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really helped me was that from the beginning, I understood and I knew that there's no such thing as overnight success. You, after reading so many books and understanding that one becomes a master after putting in the work for 10,000 hours. So I knew that right when I started was hour one, and lo and behold, the day will come when a pilot has to fly, and that what do you call that with that simulation for X amount of hours before they
Right.
can actually fly on their own. So I knew that you know what I'm gonna go deep instead of wide. So I didn't expect for me to have the freedom where I could vacation twice a year or have the big house. I knew that was going to come 10, 15 years on the line. And I'm just experiencing that 14 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I'm not. So that kept me just going. And it was a goal for me to pursue,
That's it.
to keep my eye on the price. Yeah. Not an instant gratification.
That's it.
Yeah.
Rolando, do you remember? I think we all have like person that we can go back to. Who was like your first mentor, mentor or somebody you started listening to in the beginning? Whoa, this is pretty good stuff here, man. And that got you going to learn into more self development stuff. Do you remember that one?
Yes. Yeah. I actually mentioned this to my fiance yesterday. For me, it was Les Brown. When I
Oh,
went through my turmoil, when I felt like I hit rock bottom, I would listen to Les Brown every single day, all day. And I met him in Las Vegas, and I just actually mentioned to my wife, I regret not taking a picture with him because he was the guy that really helped me come out of my feeling sorry for myself.
that's right.
And yeah, because I would, we tend to do that. We feel sorry for ourselves, and that tends to make it hurt less. But Les Brown and Todd Duncan was another one that really taught me about sales. But the one that really helped me get out of the pit that I put myself in, because I put myself there, was Les
That's
Brown. I mean, he has a place in my heart. Even though I've only met him once and I did not take a picture, I hope to meet him again. Yeah,
Well, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. And he's
yeah,
got
I
a
hope.
great story, right? If he overcame what he did and
Yes,
and shares to you, it gives you so much hope. Gives you a lot of hope.
it does, and that's what we need. We need hope. Yeah, we need hope.
And we all have that available, right? It's up to us to just keep searching for it. And you did that got you going. Then I'm sure you added more mentors along the way with that,
Yes, a lot more.
in different ways,
Yes.
right? Systems and handling objections or whatever it is you got to do. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And now getting back to the credit, repair thing. How, when you first started, you had by yourself, then you added a person to help you. How did you make that grow? Because you're at it 14 years, so I mean, you got definitely experience on how to help people. So
Yeah.
how do you
So
increase it? Can you give
yeah.
us?
So me and the mother of my children, we both started it together, and she still owns that business, and I went ahead and when we got divorced, we went our separate ways, and I
Yeah,
started my own my own business. But before that happened, I knew that in order for me to grow, I needed to invest any money that I made back into my business
yeah,
and team development, which I knew that in order to have a successful business, I needed to hire the right people. And one of the books that really helped me understand that was Good to Great. That, I mean, I highly recommend that every business owner or anyone that is looking to grow their business by building a team has to read that book. So it made me understand that if I'm a one man show, if my business depends on me, that I don't have a business, I have a job, and a shitty one to say. So what am I good at? I'm good at connecting with people, meeting people, going to events, NARP events. I was at every NARP event, networking events, meeting people. That's what I was good at. But I can't do that if I'm in the office doing admin work. So
that's right.
I needed to understand who do I have to hire so that I could go and meet more people. So I made my first hire. And then once I made my first hire, sales increased because I really maximized their position. That allowed me to hire my second person. And I made mistakes. I hired the wrong people,
Sure.
and had to let them go. And I also learned that it's not just about hiring someone. It's really you hire someone that's going to fill a position. And I learned you hire slow, fire fast.
Yes.
So I had to reinvest my money into my team development because that's the brand that I wanted to build. Was when someone comes to my business, we're a team. It's not just I'm a one man show. It's I'd be ludicrous if I did this on my own. It's just too much. Yeah, I'd be insane. Yeah,
Yeah. So basically, you built it by delegating things that
delegating.
it has to be done in your business, but you don't like doing it. You're good at this
Exactly.
part.
You have to become a master of delegation and really um, find the right people that fit your culture, your company culture.
Yeah.
It's not just about, you know, putting cheeks on the seat. It's not going to work that way. You really have to hire the right people. And
Got
that might mean, kissing a few bad frogs before you find that prince. And once
it.
you find them, it's you make sure you treat them well, you pay them well because they are the heart of your business.
Definitely, and like you did great. So you learned to find people to compliment you, and
Yes,
you know that you are the guy that brings the clients in, and you got to be out there bringing in the business, and then just having them follow up on the work that you are getting.
correct. Yes,
So
yes.
you do a great job. That's great. Hey, who was the name of the author that you said from Good to Great? What's the name of the author?
Good to Great. I believe it's Jim Collins.
Okay,
Good to Great. Yes, Jim Collins. That is a fantastic book. And of course, you have other books like The E Myth, as well as another very great book, The E Myth. Those are my two favorite business books. But I reread, rinse, and repeat at least once a year. Good to Great.
how do you keep yourself motivated daily with the ups and downs that you get? Because there are different days. Some days you're trying to solve so many things, and it goes. How do you keep yourself in a good upbeat? You have a system for that, or what
Yes.
do you say?
Um, my fiance and I, we do this every single morning. We have coffee together. We
Yeah,
wake up at the same time and we have coffee together. But before I have coffee with her, and I'll touch bases, what that means is I meditate every single morning.
nice.
So if it's 5 minutes or if it's 15 minutes, I make sure that I meditate because if you just wake up and just go about our day and grab our phone and let this dictate where our mindset is going to go and where our attention goes, you're going to be all over the place. So you have to really quiet the voice, especially if you're a business owner and you want to grow. You just have so much going on in here, And if you're able to quiet this and just really master the art of meditation, you really get to see things clear and understand what your purpose in life is. Because if you just want to make, if the purpose is making money, you're never going to be happy. So there has to be a greater thing that you're chasing. And for me is, is that 80, 90-year old me that, is on his deathbed and say, you know what, man, I gave it my all. I took the risk, and you know what, at least I tried, versus living in regret. So for me, it's just really not upsetting that 90-year-old me in the future. That's what motivates me and keeps me going. It keeps me aligned with my values and my ultimate purpose. It's just, and then, so back to the coffee thing, where we do this every single day is we ask each other 5 things that we're grateful for. And if it's the same answers every day, that means that we're staying in our comfort zone. Maybe
Yeah.
we're not reaching out to our loved ones. Maybe we're not donating money or helping someone else in need, or really just going out to see the world. So we do that every single morning. No matter if I might go golfing and I get home a little bit late in the morning, we still have our 5 minutes of gratitude, because we do have to be grateful for the little things or the big things that are happening to us. As small as they are, we're alive. We have breath. We have food. We have health. That's enough to be grateful for, and just continue pushing forward.
Well, so right about that, and I'm glad that you start your day with that, because for many people that definitely that do the sets the day in advance for you, where you have a great expectation what's coming, especially when you're doing besides the meditation, when you're doing the grateful things with your fiance, and hey, it's just a reminder, because like you say, we have so many things that we think we're not grateful for, but look, at number one, you're alive. Number one, that's the first
Yes.
thing. A lot of people didn't wake up,
Yes.
heaven or whatever. But yeah, that's really good on that. I mean, that keeps you and your kids on the same page. Everybody has their own grateful things for, but I think that's a sets the tone,
It
adds to
does.
to your day that you're doing. Awesome,
Yes.
that's good. And so let's go back to what you do on your credit. Tell me about your credit report business. I mean, I know in the beginning you helped, but tell me exactly how your business operates. Let's go like a different section, but tell me the basic
Sure.
stuff. The regular people. Go ahead.
Sure. 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 So yeah. So I, if we known each other for so long, I used to network so much. I mean, from the beginning, from day one, I networked and I attended every event, and I used to have my credit show. I did videos every week, and I used to go live every Monday before the pandemic hit, and I was able to build a personal brand that I wanted to do, is omnipresence. I wanted to be everywhere, if not physically, but people talking about me because of the brand that I build. So I was able to build a brand around credit repair, and that right now is just automatic. I'm just literally getting referrals every single, I mean, every hour of the day. Either my email, or they come through a text, either my business text messaging campaign that I have, or they come to my personal cell phone, because I've been able to build a brand that, from the beginning, my sole mission was to become the best credit repair person that in the industry within the LA County, with realtors and lenders. So I feel like I've achieved that, and I've been able to build a good book of business from a big network of realtors and lenders that just constantly sending us referrals. So I don't have to go out there and try to get clients. They just, right now, they just, because of what I've done in the past, the good service that we provide, and more than anything, the results, referrals just keep coming in. So I pass the referrals out to my team, who then follow up, set appointments, and then I have my credit specialists who analyze the credit reports and then discuss that with the client. So my job is to just sit back and watch, make sure that the operation is moving smoothly, and everyone in my team is doing the right job and doing
Okay.
the right thing, exactly, especially when it needs to be done.
All right. So tell me a little bit about what you would say to some people, what to pay attention, because some of them want to know from you, because you got the experience in this. What do you tell them? What are the important things one should focus on their credit? What because they're going to need it at some point. Maybe not now, but next few months, a year, whatever, a year or two. What should they always focus on having? Like a certain amount of debt on the thing, they're
Yes.
paying on time, whatever. So just give them some tips.
Sure. So one of the most important thing is I would say is don't be late. I mean, I can't stress that enough. A lot of people, they get too busy with their life. They have kids, they have work, and they're just overwhelmed with what we call life. But we didn't forget to go and apply for credit. We didn't forget when we used that credit card. So there is a payment due in 30 days.
Yeah.
And my recommendation is to make sure you pay it on time, even if it's just the minimum. Because a lot of people don't understand that a single late payment could drop your score by almost 100 points. And if you have a 700 today because you forgot and you were too busy, or tomorrow, and they report you late, it's going to really ding your credit score. And because of that late payment, other creditors that you have relationships with, meaning other credit cards, can reduce your credit limit because the late payment shows financial hardship. Regardless if we forgot, we could come and say, you know what, I'm going through divorce or this happened to my family. They don't care. You missed a payment, it's a financial hardship. It's showing them, hey, this person is having money issues. Let's either close his existing credit cards or let's reduce the balance. Because what a lot of people have done is they rack up the credit card debt and then they go out and file bankruptcy. So they study the behavior of people that were late, and so they take action to prevent that from happening. But a late payment, it's better for you to call the credit. So you know what, Macy's, Target, I don't have the money right now. I have it in 2 weeks. Maybe they could extend or forgive you a month, versus you just neglecting it and saying, oh, well, it's not going to hurt me much. I mean, it definitely will, especially if you're an escrow.
Yeah. So I do remember, because you shared a lot of stuff. I followed you for a long time ago, and I do remember that part. You saying, "Hey, listen, if you don't have all the money to pay off the credit card, at least make the minimum payments on time. If it's not the minimum, later and you get the money, just add more, pay it off." I remember that. That's a great advice. And how about you you charging most of the credit that, let's say,
Good question. So
$2,000 limit.
Yeah. So another thing is, when it comes to credit card usage, a credit card was invented to pay it back in 30 days. It was a net 30. And then Bank of America was the first one to invent the revolving credit card, meaning they gave you the option to pay the minimum or pay the balance in full. And the key is, if you pay the balance in full every single month, you're going to have a higher FICO score than the individual that only pays the minimum payment. Right. And if you pay it off every single month, you're going to have higher credit limits than that individual that only pays the minimum payment. Now, they make more money off the individual that makes the minimum payment. So why would they extend you more credit? Why would you look better if you're not making their money? That's just the way the credit system works. Now, the credit card companies and lending institutions would only lend to people who don't have a need for it, don't show that desperate need, versus if I have 10 credit cards and I have balances on all 10 credit cards, it shows that I have some type of I'm credit frenzy. I like to use my credit cards and I'll pay them off every single month. So I'm a higher risk, because what happens if I lose my job tomorrow and I have to pay back 10 credit cards?
Yeah.
How am I going to do that? Versus having 10 credit cards and having them all at zero balance. Number one is I have a higher FICO score. And let's just say I do lose my job and I need a little bit of money to get back on my feet. Well, I have 10 credit cards that I can use, right? But the cardinal rule is this. This is your credit card balances, and this is your FICO score. If your balances go down, your scores go up. If your balances go up, your scores go down. So if you're the kind of person that likes to have a balance for 30 days, you are hurting your credit score just by having a balance. The key is to pay them off completely every 30 days and then use them again.
That's a good advice. That's good.
Yeah,
And then it means less stressful too, because
it is.
all the
It
credit
is.
cards get built up. I mean,
Trust me. I mean,
that's
it creeps up on you. The little expenses, 100, 200 here. I'm gonna buy this shoe. I'm gonna buy that shoe, and the month goes by. You're like, wow, I spent 800. Now it's like, oh my god, do I want to pay them 800? I think I'm only gonna send them 200, and then you repeat the cycle, and then that becomes a habit, and that's how we accumulate a lot of debt. And I mean, it's insane. I see it every single day,
yeah.
and
And
it's pretty bad.
you also said, if I'm right, just to correct or let people know, when you have credit cards, like you still have them, you don't use them a lot. You also mentioned don't close them, right? Because you want to keep the credit history. Or what would you say now?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So if you close a credit card, uh, I would recommend you only close it when all of your balances for the rest of your credit cards, whether it's two or three or whether it's 10, they're at zero balance. Because whenever you close a credit card, whatever history you had on that card will still help you.
Mhm.
But what's not going to help you is the available credit limit. So
Oh,
let's just say a quick example. You have two credit cards. They're each $1,000. And you have one of them is maxed out. So you have $2,000 limit and you have a balance of 1,000. So your ratio is 50%, right? Because 2,000, 1,000.
yeah.
But let's just say you close that credit card that you're not using. Now you just decrease your limit from 2,000 to 1,000. So you have a limit of 1,000. You have a balance of 1,000. Your ratio went from 50% to 100%. Your score is dropping right away because
Well,
you increase that debt usage. So I tell customers, don't close credit cards unless all your balances are zero, because you closing and you losing that available credit is not going to hurt your ratio because it's relatively at zero. So if it's at zero, it's not going to hurt you.
that's good
So
advice. So
yeah,
probably it's best to keep it open, just to have it there. I mean,
keep
not
it
every.
open. If they charge you a yearly fee, if you've been a good customer, yeah, you can call them and many times they could waive that yearly fee.
I agree.
Yeah, they want to keep you as a client.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a real estate question for you. I seen and I have some clients that are on the forbearance situation.
Right. Yeah, that was very popular as soon as the
Right.
pandemic hit.
So tell me a little bit about that. Well, what does a forbearance mean? If you can explain to the people listening here, I know what it means, but layman
Yeah.
terms.
So forbearance means right now student loans, all of them are in forbearance, so they're not accepting payments. Forbearance is pretty much they put your account on hold, and you're not making payments on time. You're not late, so they're not reporting any information, both positive or negative. So it's not hurting you, but it's not helping you as well.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times that forbearance will expire, and if it expires, let's just say August 1st, and you don't realize that it expired, and fast forward, here we are September 1st, and
Yep.
you had to send a payment August 1st, you're going to have a 30-day late payment. So it's important, if your account is in forbearance, to find out when that expires. And if you're still in a financial hardship, kindly ask them to extend it,
There you
and
go.
9 out of 10 times they will. So it's it's
Exactly.
it's it's whenever it's in that forbearance stage, it's not helping you, but it's not hurting you. So it's just stagnant.
Okay.
It's just not doing anything positive or negative.
Okay. So for the mortgage side of real estate, they do have, like you said, a beginning date and an ending date on a forbearance.
Yes.
So when it's over, let's say September 1 is the last month, and then after that you gotta catch up. You gotta
Yes.
pay whatever you have to pay. When they don't pay, are they still not reporting that to the three credit reporting agencies?
After the forbearance expires,
Yes.
they will report. Yes,
Okay.
they will report that. So that way, it's very important. Now they have two types of forbearance.
Mhm.
The federal student loans, it's not accruing interest. But
Mhm.
if you have a forbearance in the mortgage, I'm not too sure if the interest is still occurring or not. But I know that in student loans, it's not occurring.
Okay.
So there's no, if you owe 10,000, and they give you a forbearance for a year, it's not going to be 10,000 plus the
That's
interest. No,
cool.
it's just going to be they eliminate all the interest for that forbearance period of time.
Okay. With a lenders, when they check somebody's credit, they have their home. They have a lot of people have equity now. Not as opposed to 2008 to 10. So they're in forbearance.
Right.
Uh, they're going to refinance the house. The bank runs a credit report, and they don't see any payment in the last 4 months or 6 months, whatever they agreed to in the forbearance. How does in your opinion, how does the bank look at that? They go, well, I mean, they haven't made their house payment. I mean, should we? What are the chances of some customers getting able to refinance? Probably not, or yes.
Very good question. They would take a look at other aspects other than just the forbearance. They would take a look at the stability, the job stability. If this person is making very good amount of money and he's not paying his mortgage of 3,000, 4,000, then we should expect for this person to have some money in the bank, right?
That's true.
So if this person's at zero, then it's like, whoa, this guy's taking advantage of not paying his mortgage and living life, you know. So they might say, well, I don't know if you make a good candidate, but if you're the individual that, your mortgage was 3,000, that's $36,000 a year. Maybe you didn't save the whole 36, but you have 20,000, thirty
Yeah,
thousand in the bank. Then they might be like, okay, well, this person was somewhat responsible. He was saving it. And that is a smart thing to do, or at least pay down some credit card debt,
I
or
think
use
that's a good point.
that money to your advantage, not to just go on vacation because I have $3,000 to spend. So if I was a lender, that's what I would look at. Okay, your job, your hours stayed the same, your paycheck stayed the same. You didn't have this mortgage. Where did this money go? And
Yeah,
that's what I will determine whether you're a good candidate or not.
that's a good point. Measuring point,
Right.
and saving money, at least some of it. And okay, we'll gamble on this guy. He needs a brand new, a good refi on it. Okay, that's cool. The other question I got, besides regular people, you also are mentioning that you are helping business owners build their credit. Share some about that stuff and what people could benefit
Yes,
by
that is
finding
something
about
that that's something that we just added to our arsenal is help business entities, whether it's a sole proprietor, nonprofit, for-profit, S corp, LLC, C corp. We have two programs. The first program is our uh, is a credit builder program where we can help you build business credit from the ground. I mean, from scratch. And that's baby steps that will lead to bigger steps. That's really learning how to crawl before we learn how to walk and then before we run.
it.
Second is if you have a business entity that has good cash flow, maybe has good profit and loss statement, is bringing in revenue, but would like to build their business credit. We can add, up to whatever dollar amount you want of business credit to your business entity. Now you're not able to use. So let's just hypothetically say I add a $500,000 credit line to your corporation.
Yeah,
You can use that credit line, but your corporation, 100% legal, will have a $500,000 credit line that's paid. So it gives you more purchasing power. It makes your corporation look stronger, along with the money side of it. Now you have the credit, so it's easier for you to go out and maybe apply for a business credit line, business credit card, um, for anywhere between 4 to 6 times whatever credit limit you have and the type of cash flow that's coming in every single month. That's good for realtors that are or lenders that are looking to flip, or maybe investors that have to use their personal credit because they have to PG, which is you have to personally guarantee it. They're really missing out and saying, you know what, let me build my business credit so I can leverage borrowing more, a lot. I'm talking about millions,
by
instead
more.
of only borrowing very little from my personal credit.
Hey,
Yeah, so that's
that's
what we're doing now.
that's a good service. So remember, Rolando can help you as a regular person clean your credit, make it look better, make it look higher, teach you how to keep a good control of your credit and really take care of it. And he can also help your business develop a good system where you have a business line of credit, which is good, essential, definitely.
Yes,
So
yes.
also do like negotiate some other I don't know, liens or something like that? Is that something you do too?
Yeah, so we
Say
yeah,
they
so
have
the services that we offer is we offer the basic credit repair. We
yeah.
offer the ability to be able to add a trade line, so help build personal credit as well.
Mhm.
We do offer the working with lenders and realtors. If you're an escrow, if you're buying a home, we're able to get deletion letters. We're able to give them to the lender. Lender submits a rapid rescore, and the credit gets repaired in 3 to 5 days. That's what we're doing a lot right now, and lenders love it. Realtors love it because we're able to improve credit scores within just a matter of days.
That's
And
awesome.
then we do help settle debt as well. The only thing we don't offer, and I don't like it, I don't recommend anyone to do it, is debt consolidation. That's something that we don't offer.
Yeah.
I feel that it takes way too long, and it's going to ruin your credit versus actually helping your credit. That's what these debt consolidation companies don't tell you.
We'll see.
Your credit will be damaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And all right. So what the heck? All right, sounds pretty good. The other one is, I think, one way to make sure you don't mess up your own credit without knowing is don't go sign for people, right?
Oh yes, yes. I was helping this young lady with her credit, and she has no credit whatsoever. So we added a trade line, and actually reported today. And she messaged me saying she went from a no credit score 10 days ago to a 763.
That's good.
And guess who was happy? Her boyfriend,
Huh,
who has bad credit.
right.
And she messaged me, should I co-sign for my boyfriend? He wants to get a car. And I was like, how's his credit? Oh, he has bad credit. I said, well, if he didn't care about ruining his credit,
Oh,
what do you think he's going to do to your credit? Right?
that's
And I've
yeah,
seen it happen many times. You
yeah,
know, when you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, there's no guarantee that you're going to, this is, especially when you're young, there's
yeah.
no guarantee you're going to stay with that person for the rest of your life. So I've seen where I speak to a client and they're like, well, I co-signed for my girlfriend or I co-signed for my boyfriend and, we're not together no more. And she has the car and it repossessed, whatever the situation might be. So I say, you know what? My advice is don't do it.
There you go.
Have him clean his credit, but don't ruin your credit. But at the end of the day, she's gonna do whatever she wants. But
Exactly.
I advise her not to do that. So co-signing for someone, especially if someone has bad credit, it's a big no-no in my book. I don't think you should co-sign for anyone
Yeah. There
because
you
it's
go.
your own credit. If you're gonna mess it up, let that be your choice. Not not
That's
not leave that up to somebody else to ruin your credit.
great advice on
Yeah,
that, man. That's great
because you
advice.
will need it. Trust me. Yeah, and you will need it. Trust me. The time will come when you have to bounce back and you have to accept that credit card or accept those loan terms that you're not happy with because you have a low credit score.
Look right.
And you have to do it. There's nothing you can do but either you say no, fix it, or accept it. And most people accept it because they don't want to wait to repair their credit. They want that card now, and they don't care if they're paying $200 more for it.
So the advice,
Yeah,
co-sign. Don't
trust
let
me,
people
I've
call
seen
your
it.
credit.
I've seen it all.
All right, that's very good. That's very.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yes.
Great info there. So, Rolando, tell me
Yeah.
about some sacrifices you had to go through to be successful in your type of business. What did you have to give up? What did you do? I mean, I'm sure you went through something that we're not pretty, but what did you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. 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 Um, I got divorced for sure.
Sure. Hey,
Got divorced. That when you're with someone and you want more out of life, and if your partner doesn't share the same vision, it's always just better to kind of find your purpose, right?
your own way.
And more than anything is I took a look around
Mhm.
my circle, the friends that I've had, and what I'm consuming daily. If I'm friends with Joe and Joe's not adding value to my life, then why would I want to be around those people? So it was really taking a look at my circle and really being selfish with me and say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate. No, I don't want to go out. No, I don't want to hang out because I don't like the way I feel the next day,
Yeah.
or I don't. You don't bring value to my life. So one of the big sacrifices was just saying bye to friends that I grew up with, but they just didn't share the same vision. They didn't want to grow. They wanted to stay in their circle. And for me, it was like, no, I mean, there's more to life than just what we're doing now. And if we don't share the same vision, then I don't want to be your friend. And that was one of the sacrifices that saying bye to those friends that I literally, I was in diapers with. And
That's a huge sacrifice, Rolando, and a very
I
important one.
couldn't associate myself with them. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And
What's
then
the
of course I started other businesses that have failed, and um, but when I had my credit repair business, I went and I opened a second location, thinking it was going to work out, just because I felt that my ego, oh, I want to do it, and I didn't
Yeah.
really understand the market. I didn't really do my homework, and then that one failed, and it was very expensive lesson.
They're great
Yeah,
lessons, though. It gets you to where you're at right now. I can
it
see
does.
that you've done a
It
lot of
does.
work on yourself, dude. So I appreciate that, and I share a lot of stuff
Yeah,
that what you say. So,
yeah.
and what are your next level goals for you to reach? What do you have coming up? What would you like to get to next, for example?
Yeah. So right now, what I'm focusing on is three things.
Hmm.
The first one is making sure that I'm present when I'm home with my kids
Nice.
and my family. Because when I'm not working, I want to make sure that I'm not working, and I give my fiance the time, that I give my kids the time that I was away while I was at work. So I make sure I want to do that every day. And I fail sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that, and but I want to make sure that I keep that at number one, and have an amazing relationship with my fiance as well. Number two is, since I made the transition from selling my old credit repair business into what I have now, my next mission is to really build my business again. I have the ability to do it again, to reinvest the money into team development, really developing this business to where I can grow it 10x. And then the third thing that I have that I'm truly excited about, that I can't wait for this to happen, is I'm working on opening a Latino Mexican based coffee shop. So I'm working on that right now. I've been working on it all year. Um, I have finally have my coffee connection. I'm working directly with the farmers. I'm getting my coffee from Nicaragua, and then I met with my pastry person who's gonna do all my pastries, and so it's all coming together, of having a nice urban coffee shop, and that I hope one day I could definitely franchise it with
Hey,
my
listen,
with my family.
let us know when you started because I'll come
Yeah,
by.
for sure.
I
It's
love
in the
coffee.
works right now. It's a lot of work. Trust me, it's a lot of work. But it's just, for me, is I just enjoy my back being against the wall, and just
Yeah.
feeling, that's what keeps me going, is whenever I'm when things are too good and things are too quiet. It's like, no, I don't like that feeling. I like to feel like I'm always just racing, and against the grind, because that's how my engines work. That's what gets me going, moving forward.
Awesome, awesome.
Just
Rolando,
challenge after challenge.
let me ask you. Say Rolando now.
Mhm.
I don't know exact age you got, but you're still younger than me, so you're
40.
kind
I
of
just turned 41.
41.
Last one.
All right,
41.
cool. What would
Yeah.
you tell a young Rolando, man? You got a Rolando like you. You see this guy, man. This guy, you see him on the street. This guy like me, man. He's got this kind of type of fire he wants. He's 14, 15 years old. Just, hey, Rolando, what do you do, man? What can you tell me? What can you tell me? Give me your life lesson. What would you say to a kid like
Wow.
that right now? Where you're at right now, everything you learned, what would you say to him? He's going
Wow.
through a lot or whatever.
I think number one, it's I will say, don't care what people think about you, because when we're young, we tend to care too much about. We want to be cool. We want to fit in,
Yeah,
and sometimes we're not ourselves, or we become something that we're not happy with,
yeah,
because we want to fit in. We want to be part of the cool crowd. So I would tell my younger self, you know what? really find out who you are, and don't care about what people think. Because the older I'm getting, and you would understand this,
Yeah,
Antonio, the older we get, the less we care about what people think about us. Like
for sure.
it's water off a duck's back. Like you
That's
don't
true.
like me, or I don't. It's okay. But when we're young, my God, him, she got mad at me or he got mad at me. And so it's just, don't care what people think about
Good
you.
advice.
Do you. Do whatever makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not hurting your health, and you're not getting in trouble, have fun with it. Try things, explore. And then,
Yeah.
you
What
know,
else? A couple more things you would say to the kid.
yeah, yeah. And then the second thing is, this too shall pass.
What does that mean?
This too shall pass. So what it is that as we're growing up, we're gonna go through certain things. A heartbreak. We might lose someone. We might get fired. We might not get the job we wanted. We might get overlooked. Um, we might be bullied. We might, I don't know, whatever. It's gonna pass. This too shall pass. Like whatever you go through, don't beat yourself up because your girlfriend left you, or
Yes.
she said no to the prom, or things didn't work out, or you broke up. Whatever happens to you, this too shall pass. It's gonna go. It's gonna come. Deal with the emotions, embrace them, and then this too shall pass. And I live with that now, Antonio, because if things are going great, and I'm like, man, I feel great. I know that this too shall pass. I know that. So I have to embrace this moment.
Yeah.
And when things are going bad, when you cry, when you feel sad, or something happens, this too shall pass.
Awesome.
Things are going to get better. So when they're good, you actually embrace these moments of happiness. And
Embrace it.
man, we closed the deal, and now we could go out to a nice dinner. This too shall pass. So let me just be present. Let me put the phone down. Let me make sure that I soak up this moment, because it too shall pass. And the same thing when it's something negative, learn from it. Don't run away from it. Just deal with it, understand it, and this too shall pass.
Give me one more thing you would tell that young kid.
One more thing is to, God,
You said a
you know
lot of
what?
it before. I know
Yeah,
that continue, man.
yeah. You know what? You're gonna make mistakes, because
Yeah.
I was the kind of person that if I made a mistake,
There you go.
how could I make a mistake? No, 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 no. You're gonna fail. It's gonna happen. It's called life. Learn from it. Um, make a lot of mistakes. Like when I was little playing baseball and I would get struck out, I would get so mad. But it's gonna happen. Even the greats only hit 3 out of 10. You know, so just learn that you're going to make mistakes. But hold on, one just came to mind that I
Say it.
always dealt with when I was little. Is I didn't have confidence. I didn't believe in myself.
You didn't believe in yourself.
I didn't believe in myself, and up till now I hate it. I hate it because I grew up playing basketball, and I love playing basketball. And then when I got older, 14, 15, I started playing these leagues in the city, because my dad never put us in any sports. He didn't know about that, so we would put ourselves in sports, and I would play with certain people if I would watch Jordan do a jump shot, I would want to emulate that. And my friends would tell me, "Why do you do that? Like, why do you think you're Jordan?" And then that would affect my confidence. I would start doing it.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, now I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I would allow this person to bring my confidence down, and then just not really shine how I should have shined in those moments. So just don't let what other people think about you affect who you are and what you want to do in life.
Yeah, I tell you, you tell that to that kid right now, that kid's gonna go, man, you saved me a lot of years, man. Let me make sure I
Yeah,
follow what you say. I'm telling you, yes, that's awesome. That's really good. I appreciate
yeah,
it. And I know people are gonna be able to, whenever they choose to re-listen to this, because it's gonna be like on a YouTube thing and on our channel here.
yeah,
There's a lot of good stuff that Rolando has here, and Rolando's not only a good credit repair guy. I mean, what you see is what you get, because I saw him a few times, and you're a pretty good sized guy. You're not a small Latino, like you're pretty tall.
yeah. Thank
That's
you. Yeah,
so no, it's
yeah,
good. I appreciate a lot of the learning lessons you shared. Um, And if any, I'm gonna put your info there. But if anybody has a question, what's the best way for them to reach you? Is there a number or
Sure,
how?
yeah. If anybody wants to reach me because they want to go ahead and grab coffee and pick my brain, and or we can network and connect with each other, they could always reach me on my cell phone, my personal cell phone, which I mean blows up every single day. I mean, I literally have messages that I have to follow up on, but I love it. I love it. It's area code 323-627-6345, or you just shoot me an email at credit rs. That's the word credit followed by R for Robert, S for Sam at Gmail.
I'll put it on the thing here too.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's been great. I know I'll see you around, and I know that you're a very smart guy, and you learn a lot of stuff
Thank you,
from the
Antonio.
business, right? And making it better and better. And you
Yeah.
got great stuff to share, and I appreciate it. And for everybody who's listening, just replay it. It's great stuff. He talks about credit, some tips, but if you want to take it further, you want to clean your credit, you want to build the credit for the business.
Have hope.
Reach out to him.
Believe you can. Yeah.
You reach out to. He's got the experience. He won't let you down.
Yeah,
Because
thank
people
you
that
so
I talk
much.
to are usually great people. Most of the time, they're great people that I follow and I know, and I want to learn more. And I want other people to get to know them, in a little bit better than the 5-minute talk. So appreciate you being around today, Rolando, and wish you the best. I already have some clients that are in the middle of doing something, so I'm gonna give them your number.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
As a matter of
that.
fact, I got a credit report for one already, so I'll send that to you so you can
Well,
check it
thank
out.
you for having me here. This was a lot of fun. I love this is the best part of my job when I get invited to speak. It's like icing on the cake because I mean I could be here for hours with you, and I'm sure we could talk about anything and everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then I'm sure we'll do it again in the future. I appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Take care. Bye bye.